How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. It's Kevin Clear, and today we got Lachlan, we got JP, JHC on the co-host, and then we got Nolan too as well.
You know what? You gotta bear with guy for a second.
Jakur. Check it out on Insta. We're gonna link our shit. KOT is fucking sponsored by KOT.
KOT, you know why this is the perfect intro? Because the reason we're coming back with the second part of this episode is we took a break to take some drinks, guys, and we're all hanging out and telling stories, and we took some drinks in case that intro was kind of funny.
Fuck yeah, we're gonna tell some secret party stories.
Secret party stories.
100%. We're gonna tell like even just little shit that we did when we were a kid. We're not gonna get into details of like exactly when or who we did it to, but
we don't
we'll be talking
about
or
anything.
Wow. It's like,
I was gonna say
that sounded so incriminating just now. We're not gonna say when or who we did it to, but
I'm gonna say the stories lacking the names.
I can either like confirm or deny this at this point in time. We are not financial advisors, so don't listen to us on any front.
My lawyer advised me not to mention any names.
Warning, nobody in this video is a professional. Do not listen to anything said in this podcast.
You heard it here first.
That's it. All right, Lachlan, so what story off the top of your head that you can think of?
What, like a partying story?
Just like, anything,
Maybe what's your...
I know you got some stuff.
I've got a good one, actually.
You got some stuff in the vault.
All right.
Would you like to hear something particularly fucked up? It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, sure.
Let's start off strong.
For
fucked
those
up?
of you just listening to audio, Justin is looking at me with an extremely concerned face, like I sort of, well, maybe not too, like, but anyway, no, it's really not that bad. It's not that bad.
Thank you.
One time I was at a house party with my friend, and we were both like pretty inspired by Jackass and stuff growing up. We thought all that stuff was really cool.
Yeah, I can relate, man. I used to jump in trees and shit and do shit like that.
Yeah,
too.
like
100%.
just being like, just doing stupid shit. And Steve-O used
shopping carts.
The
shopping carts thing. Yeah.
And Steve-O used to always like staple money to his forehead and stuff like that.
Like a staple gun and shit.
Yeah, with a staple. So
leech on the eye.
we're at this house party, and we had seen this video of Steve-O doing his thing with the staples, and we kind of figured like, okay, like let's start easy, like we'll staple our arm. So it's like, staple the arm. It's like, okay, that sucked, but it wasn't that bad. And it ended up becoming this sort of competition on who could do the most fucked up thing with the staple gun.
Oh no. Shit.
And it got out of hand, and it ended up kind of garnering the attention of the majority of the people at the gathering. And so it's just me and my friend with like 15, 20 people kind of surrounding us, watching the different variations of staples going into different body parts. So yeah, it starts with the arm, and then all of a sudden it's like, like I bet I could pierce my ear. So, staple the ear, and then that's not enough. So it's like stapling money to like the forehead, and the forehead's gnarly because when you staple your forehead,
it's right to the skull.
It goes right into your into your skull. So you have to like yank it out because it gets right in your bone, which is pretty gnarly. And then my friend, he takes the stapling gun and he puts it inside his mouth, and he staples the side of his mouth. And I was like, that's gnarly, but I bet I can top that. And I put a staple in my tongue. And the tongue was bad because you got a lot of nerve endings. But then outside of that, my buddy, this is where it gets pretty aggressive. My buddy, he goes, okay, check this out. And he put the stapler down his pants.
Oh, Jesus.
And he
I had a feeling is going here.
Yeah. He stapled his nutsack to his thigh.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That burns.
All out, dude.
He stapled his nutsack to his thigh. And
wow.
Everybody at the party was just kind of like, I don't know. People were fired up, actually. People were like, let's go. And, you know, we kind of called it there. But
And a couple conscious people are like, oh god, that's
Yeah, I
gonna...
mean, like, how do you top that?
fuck, I don't know. That's kind of fucked up, you know? Like,
Yeah.
can you continue to have children once you
Well, it wasn't through
Well,
his
it's
actual.
No, it wasn't through his
balls,
actual
right?
Probably just the
testicle.
skin,
Just
right?
the
It's just
skin.
like the fucking
Skin to testicle.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not
nothing,
testy,
you know?
like actual testy to leg.
What I
it's
think
just
is funny
skin to
about
leg,
that
right?
is like
But still,
he was really proud of it. He was like running around like he just like
Showing
accomplished
everybody.
something great, you know.
he's
He's
wearing that on his chest like a victory
check
medal.
it
Like,
out. I'm a crazy fuck.
was he lit? Was he drinking or something?
I mean, everybody was having some fun. I mean, it was mostly just like, you know, we had seen the guys on Jackass do this, and we knew that like that's where shit was gonna end, right? It was just who was gonna get there first, and I was happy to be the guy to fold, you know.
Yeah, just to the
Yeah.
it's like the smarter fucking move to make. If you think about
Yeah,
it.
but yeah, I don't know. Me and that guy, like, we would often do these sort of things, like just trying to one up each other on stupidity, like you know, like grabbing cactuses, like in people's houses, and
What?
yeah, like my friend, we were at this house party, like and my friend had a cactus with a, you know, and he's like, check this out, and he just grabbed it, squeezed it as hard as he could, and then just like lifts it up with an open hand, and is like, oh, check it out, and yeah, I don't know, weird way to entertain yourself, but yeah, that was one thing that happened with me early on, like in high school and in like grade 10.
Kinda
This
fucking high
strange stapling competition.
I did watch a friend of mine actually get like one of those staple hammer guns, like the
That's
like the
fucked
staple
up.
hammers, like in his
Yeah.
thigh. It was kind of
Oh,
like
wow.
he's like, do it, and just fucking right on the top of his.
Oh my god. No, this was just like a little, like the kind of thing that you kind of staple like some papers together with. That's like an industrial like
Oh, okay, it wasn't
construction.
actually. Oh man,
No, it wasn't.
I literally was going through that whole story thinking it was a staple gun, dude. Like
No,
I was
it
like,
was like-
fuck, dude,
Yeah,
like you
no.
fucking.
I was like, there's no
No.
way.
It's like,
It's
you
gotta
know,
just be
the
school stapler.
the thing that, yeah,
guess I
school
should've
stapler,
known.
but you know, you kind of like unfold it.
Oh, 100%. It still
And then
sucks.
it's
Like,
good to go.
A staple
Yeah.
gun that would
Yeah.
do some damage.
No, a staple gun would
Like
do
you're
some
talking about like
serious
one
damage.
like for using for like Tyvek.
The sort of thing
like-
you find in an office.
Yeah,
like,
staple
Oh, okay, just like
papers
standard.
together.
Yeah, it's like
I thought you were
little-
talking about like the hand one. Down, you know?
That's fucking yeah. No, that's
one
pretty.
would fuck.
Those
That's pretty
staples are
aggressive. Yeah, you
Yeah,
put
that's
that.
good.
You put that in your forehead. I don't know if it's coming out.
Yeah, that might go to your brain. Man.
Yeah, I know. It was
you
kind of
might,
like.
need, you might need to
over
take
that.
pliers to it.
It's like, I think they would kill you, dude.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Jesus.
What? Okay. As far as story, you know what? I'm gonna throw it on over. Oh wait. Was that the end of the story or no?
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's just like
That was a good
Oh, okay,
one.
because I was gonna say I don't want to cut
No,
that.
no,
off.
yeah, that's funny as hell, man. But I mean, yeah, you gotta be
Fuck.
careful with fucking staplers, man.
Dude, yeah.
tetanus.
So anybody listening,
Exactly.
you know, everything that you're hearing has been done by professionals.
No, we were supposed to say we're not professionals.
been done by
Or don't-
professional.
don't do
No,
that
no,
shit.
no. Don't do it. That's what I was. That's what I was gonna
Yeah,
follow.
we're not.
up
We're
with.
not liable, essentially. Just 'cause we're, it's disclaimer.
Yo, I
Non-liability.
do not recommend
These are
anything
just
that I
stories.
say. This
These are
is-
stories that hypothetically happened.
Yeah, this is all fictional.
Yeah.
I was writing a book the other day. Nolan. Okay, let's pick from three things. What kind of story are you gonna give us? Like party story? Like, is it like something
Well-
wild that happened? Is it maybe just like memorable?
Yeah, I was gonna go more memorable rather than like dangerous.
Okay,
Do
okay.
it,
I like
do
that
it.
approach. I like
Do
that
it.
approach.
Yeah, like
Let's switch it up.
Once you brought up the staplers, I was thinking like dangerous shit I did in high school, but I don't know if I can say some of it on here.
I'm honestly like kind of regretting the staple story, but hey, fuck it.
Yeah.
No, don't
It's,
worry. No, don't.
It's,
I dig
it's,
it.
it's a greasy
No,
one.
that was a good one.
No, it was actually funny, yeah, it was actually funny shit,
set it off. No, mine's yeah, I live in BC right now, and this past summer I did like quite a bit of partying. So me and a group of friends, we went up to Tofino for 3 or 4 days or something like that. And there's like some secret beach rave that we'd been hearing about like all throughout the town, and eventually we got the address.
It was like a nudist beach, or
No,
because I know
it
there's a couple of them, especially around that area. If I'm not,
No.
or maybe it's more van and shit, but I don't know.
no, it wasn't a nudist beach, but
Okay, okay.
Vancouver has a
Nudist
nudist
beaches,
beach.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's next to the university. Yeah.
yeah, but
It's a
no,
nice beach.
it was
it's
weird
a nice
because we were
beach.
just driving down this dirt road for maybe like 30-40 minutes, and we're like, where the fuck are we going? Like you're not seeing any cars. Like these people were fucking with us, and then all of a sudden like there's thousands of cars, well not thousands, maybe like hundreds of cars parked on the side of the road, And we're like, okay, clearly like these guys weren't fucking around. So yeah, we ended up going, finding the place, and then we were all super high on acid as well. So like that made it much more adventurous.
That is an important detail.
And yeah, only one person had a light at the time. And so we like made our way trying to search or find the beach, and we're like walking on this old broken rotted walkway. And there's like in an old growth forest and everything, so it's like huge trees. It felt like I was in like the Lord of the Rings or something like that. And I'm peaking on acid, like this shit's insane. Yeah, and then finally we get to the beach, and it was just it was surreal. There's like
nudists
everywhere. Everyone huge bushes, man. You know BC. No, there's just like 3 very distinct groups. Like you go over to the right, and there's just like a pure rave. Like they had like a huge light show and everything. Yeah. And just like techno music, whatever. And you go into the middle section, and they just have a bonfire, and there's like 200 people around that playing guitar and whatnot. And then you go over to the left, and it's just like all these like 18, 19-year-old kids, just like jamming fucking like Taylor Swift. What? And it was like just like such a wide spectrum of everything. But yeah, anyways, when we were walking through the woods to get to this place, we passed by this enormous tree. Like I've never seen a tree that big before, and you can walk inside the tree. So I was seeing this girl at the time, and then we decided to leave a little bit early to go like hang out alone. And before we could get to the tent, we decided to check out the tree.
I see what's coming.
So yeah, so we went inside the tree, like literally completely in the middle of it. Like I could stretch my arms out like as far as I could. Holy shit. I couldn't touch it. Like this thing was fucking huge. And
were you like scared of any like those fucking hornet fucking wasps?
No wasps, luckily. But yeah, we only had like a red headlight, so that in itself like made things like even trippier. Yeah. And then yeah, we ended up having sex in this tree in BC while I was like super high on acid. So it was just like a very Western experience for me, and yeah, it was just probably the coolest place that
the tree was only the first thing you went inside of.
That's right. Oh yeah. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was my crazy memorable party night.
Save the trees, man.
Yeah, save the trees.
Save the trees so that you can fuck girls in the trees.
Yeah, but I went back actually to look for my buddy like half an hour later, and there were some other people in the tree after that. So the tree was getting a lot of action that night.
The tree of life.
The tree of life.
That's funny. That's so good.
Yeah, fucking.
You were conceived in a tree.
No one probably hopes it's not the tree of life, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. The precautions weren't there.
It's like, fuck it's human in here, bro. Like, it's good.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Man. Nice.
What context-wise, how many years ago we're talking here?
This was this past summer.
Oh, sick.
So like 5 months ago, maybe 4 months ago.
That's awesome.
So pretty fresh, but yeah, it was quite the memorable day. Super great weekend. It's like awesome surfing. We ended up breaking. There's a really nice resort there called Pacific Sands. It's like 5 stars, and we lucked out somehow getting a room there. And we did more acid later into the night, and we all got naked actually. Yeah, and we were like, you have to rent out the sauna and like spa room. So we rented it out from like I think it was like 10 to 11, and then it's supposed to close, but like no one comes to check on you. So we were there until like I don't know, like 1 in the morning or something. And this little Spanish lady like came in, like one of the fucking cleaners, and she was just like shocked that there's like 15 fucking hippie people just tripping balls, butt ass naked, just like
was
sweating
this like
our
a
balls
sexual
off.
thing, or were you guys just posted naked?
We were just
out?
naked, you know. Just
that's it.
It just felt right
just
at the
vibing.
time. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it was just so out of place though. There's like all these like rich people who go there, and then we ruined it. Oh, and we broke their sauna. That's where I was going with that. So hopefully they never see this. But we tried to go back the next day, and they're like, no, sorry, someone actually broke our sauna. What was your names again? And I'm like, oh, we didn't say our names, but that sucks. We'll just leave. It's fine. But yeah, they're pretty pissed.
I think it's always funny being in a really high class like environment when you don't really match that energy. Like I've experienced that a few times after planting seasons.
Dude, I've been like
I almost get pissed off by it.
Yeah, I've been in like track pants and a t-shirt walking through a hotel like wasted, and I'm just watching people in suits, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, like dude, I mean, after
nice hotel.
Whenever you finish a planting season, you basically look like full blown homeless. Like you've got permadirt all over you.
But you're rich at the same time.
Yeah, but you're literally fucking rich. Like when you finish a planting season and you're like a young guy, like you feel like a rich man. You've got 20 grand in your pocket.
Yeah, rich in
You've
our
got
terms,
no
at least.
responsibilities. You're like, let me ball out. And so you go and you do these nice things, but you look like a class A D-gen. And so me and my...
Spent $100 at a fucking Circle K and then just like,
Have you guys ever partied in a laundromat?
No, I can't say I have.
Dude, I actually when I was tree planting, it was all fucking laundromat parties. So like in every town.
I've only planted in the COVID era. So
everyone's doing laundry at the same time. They were just like, yo, and then we just start drinking, start turning up a fucking laundromat.
I've heard a lot of stories like that.
Oh, speaking of, I was gonna say, speaking of stories, do you have one locked and loaded?
I have a story that's pretty funny. It's more of like it was a couple summers ago, and we go to like my buddy's cottage up in Timmins, and it's like a super nice fucking cottage, man. It's like really,
are you talking Jesse?
No, my buddy Sam.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he has like a really fucking sick anyway, and like I was dating some chick at the. Oh no, I wasn't dating her, but we'd hooked up. But anyway, so we go to this cottage and yeah, so we go to this cottage and like it's his family's cottage, super nice, like you know like those types of cottages that are like cabin, like literally like logs. Like,
like
stacked on top of each other.
Log pillars.
Yeah, dude, super nice, very nicely varnished, nicely finished, everything like that, right? And yeah, so and it was just like it was just like a tear. It was like one of those times where you're just gonna go on a fucking tear. Like I remember we had so much beer in the trunk of like I had a Subaru Forester, but like the old versions, like the 2004, you know.
Oh, I remember that actually.
And then like, dude, we had like I don't know how many 2.4s, man. It was just like, but you could see like a suspension in the back of the car, like slightly just like pushing down. You know what I mean? Anyway, and we were just it was just like one of those things. And then like my buddy Sam was like, oh, yo, like because the way that the cabin is like basically you have like the deck outside in front, and there's like a nice little garden, but it's like a pretty big garden, and like you know the shit's pretty like tall enough that like. You know, it's if you were to drop something in it, you know, like anyway, he was like, "Please don't puke in the garden. Like, please don't puke in the garden and shit." And
that's very specific.
Yeah, well, it was just like, yeah, it's my grandmother's garden. I was like, I get it. And shit. Fair, but then, like later on, like you forget all these types of shit. You know, like these little things. That, like obviously, I was super respectful to like the house. But like these little things, like you know, I completely forgot. Like, oh, okay. Anyway, so we come up with this. You know, we're rallying, as Lachlan would put it, and we're literally just like we're just like, all right, let's play a game. It's I don't know if you've ever tried it. It's 60 shots. Sorry, it's a shot every minute for 60 minutes.
A shot,
a beer.
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say
challenge.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I completed the challenge, but let me tell you, it wasn't like easy. It's like you're only drinking like what, maybe 4 beers, maybe if you think about it.
4 beers, or
but it's like think of the consistency, right? Every single minute, and we have a timer going on, and we did it. But at 45 minutes, I was just like, holy fuck! I mean, I was just like me and fucking buddy start puking, and where's the first thing? The puke is just over the railing, and it's in the fucking garden, right? So he's puked in the garden. And buddy got super pissed about it. But the funniest thing of like that whole weekend, it's like it's not the craziest story, but it was like we had these like little like these little like water guns, but they're like super mini. So I just like pull up and I
fill them with liquor or what?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I filled them with liquor.
There you go.
And so like when my buddy like Ollie would be like not sleeping, but he's like taking like you know a nap and shit. I just like charge up the stairs and like grab his forehead and just like shoot these liquor shots in the back of his throat, man. He just gets up like coughing, and I'm just like you know like you just like shit rat shit in a way, and I just run down the stairs and like I'm out of the house like before he doesn't have time to react. You know what I mean?
I've been like laughing at tears out.
So pissed, but there's been shit like where like you know it's happened to me and like I got pissed and it's like well that's you know if you dish it out you have to be able to accept it.
You gotta live with it.
Exactly. So I don't know. That's a story that's kind of funny in my mind that you know. So
Yeah, my
Nice,
little
nice.
brother has done the Century Challenge, which is the same thing except it's
100, right?
100 shots
Yeah.
of beer in 100 minutes, and he did it with all his
100?
Yeah,
100
I've heard of
shots in
that
100
one.
minutes. Yeah, so
Oh shit.
my brother did that with a bunch of his buddies, and they, for some reason, they made the decision to have one bucket for all of their vomit because they knew they'd be puking, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, like,
they ended up having one bucket, so they have 100 shots lined up each for each of them. It's like 6 guys, and my brother won. He ended up winning, but the funny thing is his strategy was he decided not to eat for like 12 hours before this.
Why?
So that he'd have room in his stomach for all the beer.
So he
'Cause
just got fucked.
I don't know if
so
that makes sense, does it?
it
Like,
actually, well, I mean, he won, so. But
guess the
so
results
everybody
speak for
else,
themselves.
everybody else started filling up too early and puking because
Yeah.
when it's by minute, it's like you're not getting the spins or anything. You're not getting like drunk when you're losing the challenge. You're getting full, and your body starts to reject and you vomit. But my brother,
word.
because he had an empty stomach, he got to like 89. Everybody else tapped at like 70. John gets to 89. And then he puked, and then he kept puking. But
were you part of it or?
nope, this is just a story I've heard, and
Okay, good.
I'm good friends with a lot of Jock's good friends as well, and so I've heard it from a few different positions. So my brother tells it like, yeah, I beat everybody. I got 89. It was literally light work. I pulled Drake one time. And then my other good friend, his name's my other good friend, his name's Gordon Burkham. He tells me that my brother was fucked and that he was really struggling, and he eventually gets to 89 and he like projectile vomited everywhere and then hugged the bull for another hour, and then that was him. He was okay after that, but he won. I don't know if I fucking want to do the Century Challenge, just saying.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, it's one of those things that like.
how responsible can I sound after talking about a
If you
fucking
don't do it
staple
while you're a
competition?
teenager, like, that's where I draw the line.
I'd
Staple
rather
my
get
ball sack to
stapled
my
in the
leg, you know?
dome than fucking vomit, though. I hate throwing up. I fucking hate it. Unless it's like a strategic chunder, sometimes you're a little full and you gotta pull trig, and it gives you longevity for the night, but I don't know. I don't know.
Sure, it's like
I
the
hate
restart
throwing
It's
up.
never comfortable.
100%. 100%. Yes.
All right, Justin, you got a nice party story for us?
Oh god.
J-Dog coming in hot.
Actually, yeah, okay. I have a few, but I'll start with this one.
Alright.
I mean, we got some time. Like, we've only been doing it for a bit, you know?
Yeah?
Bear time.
Yeah, we'll do some more, you know? So, let me think here. Okay, so there was one time, so La Brasse, that's...
The Brass.
Yeah, I can't even
Yeah,
fucking
it's kind of like a
pronounce it.
dive bar back in the day. Had open mic and
Yeah.
shit. You go there, you jam.
Yeah.
Brass
Is this
Market?
in Ottawa?
No, it's a place in
this is in
Elmer,
Elmer.
Quebec, and
I
it's
don't know
like...
if you've ever been to Elmer?
It's literally
I've been
like...
to Albert.
I'm talking
Just
literal
briefly.
literal like strip mall, like, you know, you got restaurants and your bank and shit, and then like in the corner, in the dark,
Like,
In the
like
dark.
crevice of this 90-degree angle.
yeah, legit. Like in the back.
Sounds
It's like,
like
yeah, we
all
were
of
going
that.
there young,
Yeah,
too.
I love
Like,
the place though,
how
man.
old were we? We were like 18,
Oh,
19.
dude, 18
man.
at the time, yeah, and now I'm 29, so it's like 11 years. And like, I remember that's where I first started rapping, for one thing, which is crazy, but like, that's where we used
Yeah,
to do
word.
these open mics on Tuesday night. So there's one particular Tuesday night where I'd been a few nights or a few weeks in a row of doing this open mic night, and I was just partying like normal, and I was like, okay, now tonight I'm gonna party. Like, I did freestyling the last couple nights. I was like, tonight I'm watching other people perform. I took the night off. I was like, I'm not gonna do anything, I'm just gonna chill. So I'm drinking and they always had courts, which was the funny part. So, and they had 3 pool tables, and they were all stained and shitty. And that's the funny part about it, is just like 3 pool tables, but it was a rad place to be, And you're
love
there with all your
pool.
friends. Yeah, right.
100%.
Excuse me, I'm hiccuping here, but basically, so we had this Tuesday night open mic, whatever, every week, and then Yeah, so one particular night I'm drinking like the quarts of Labatt 50, and it was cool because Labatt 50 was like something my grandpa always loved to drink.
Labatt,
So I just thought it was funny that
Oh,
they
you get
kept-
those. You're talking about those
Yeah,
fucking like
those
the
dirty
big
co-
fucking
yeah, the big beer bottles.
those
Oh,
ones,
the big
it's
like,
super
yeah,
cheap.
and then they're like, "You want a glass?" I'm just like,
That's called Montreal Canadian fuel, baby.
exactly. You know,
What do you think lets these guys bomb motherfuckers the way they bomb motherfuckers? It's the Labatt.
Labatt's,
baby.
What's that game there, Edward 40 hands?
Yeah. Oh, dude.
8.1s.
That's another story. I'll tell you the ending of the story is I woke up on the ground with 2 shattered bottles and duct tape on my hands. And it's like, but luckily I wasn't fucking cut.
It was dangerous. Fucking,
that was
just like
part of
cake
the-
fucking glass. cans, like,
Fuck glass on the real. I've had my issues with glass. Let me tell you. Glass will slice you up. Anyway, sorry,
will.
Justin. Yeah.
No worries. It's
100%.
true. You got to be
100%.
careful with that shit. So I don't recommend any of this again, guys listening. You know, but it's funny to talk about now.
For sure.
But yeah, okay. So basically, the story takes a turn, but I'm just fluffing it up for you guys. But like, basically, like we were drinking. I'm taking the quarts of Labatt's. You know, I probably had maybe like 2 or 3 of them, which is the equivalent of, I think they're like 2.5 beers each or something. So like 6-7 beers over the night. But like in between, this guy was buying me shots of Jack Daniels, so I had like only like maybe 2 or 3 in it. But it's like you think only 2 or 3, you know, among like 7 quarts of Labatt 50,
Yeah.
you know, over a span of 2 hours. And then all of a sudden, I was like, yeah, I was drunk, man, and like it was just, you know, I was watching the thing, and again, this was like a normal open mic night, right? And I'm just like watching things happen, and then all of a sudden I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, guys, and it's the typical moment we all know. We're like, all right, guys, like I'm gonna dip, I'm gonna go home and sleep, and you're planning to get home, relax, hit that pillow, and then I like turn around, and 2 of my buddies are there, and I'm just gonna like, you know, I'll just leave it like 2 of my friends are there, and they were like, yo, man, you want to eat these like handful of shrooms? And I was just like,
Uh-oh.
and I was just like, I thought
Especially
about
when
it.
you're drunk, dude. You fucking,
Yeah, and I was
like,
kind
you
of
make
like
the most irrational decisions.
right.
Like,
And I'm talking like, yeah, right. And I'm talking, it's like 1:45, 1:50 a.m. Like it's almost 2 o'clock. Like the bar's closed.
Fuck.
And I'm just there, and I'm like, sure. And I was like, just, you know, like a fucking just driving down.
How many do you think you ate?
I think it would probably like let's just say in total, like it was a handful of like it ground up, but it was let's say like the equivalent of maybe like a couple stems and like 2 cabs, like in that.
Right, grams, something.
Yeah, so like
maybe
you're
2
getting, well, I'd say, yeah,
2, 3 grams.
2 grams of
Yeah,
of it.
so still pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, good enough to like, and I'm fucking hammered.
You never know, too. You know, like
Well,
with
and most of it
mushrooms,
was
you never
caps.
fucking
That's the thing.
know.
It was these
It's true.
Fucking
juicy,
potent.
it was these
They
juicy
could, yeah.
dark caps, and that's what got me. I was just like, uh-oh. Like I was eating it, and I was like, it's so wet. Like I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much you took. It matters what you fucking felt. Because mushrooms, like, I swear they vary so much in
Right?
potency.
That's
after-
true.
It's a roller coaster ride, man. Like all, and so then I'm like, I walk outside, and I'm like, at the time I was smoking cigarettes outside, and I was just like,
Yeah.
uh-oh. I was like, okay, what do I do? Do I go home? Do I watch movies? Do I like I'm gonna be up all night, man.
you already,
I'm
like,
gonna be
pinned. You were
tripping.
pinned before?
Yeah, and I'm pinned. I'm like
fuck.
hammered at this point. Like I was a bit ready to go to bed, you know, like go home and drink water. And then they come out and they're like, yo, man. So, and one of the guys with him, legitimately, and I could tell too beforehand because I had talked to him, like he legitimately was sober, and it was because he was trying to like not drink, not do drugs, and there was like, and it's like kudos to him, you know. And
Hey, yo, we want them back.
he was no. So he was driving his car around, and my buddy, who was like the dealer of these shrooms and weed and stuff, was like, he was he had taken them with us too, and then another buddy of mine so there's 3 of us that took them, and then like this one dude, and he was just flat sober, like, and you could tell like he was on his shit. He's smoking cigarettes and stuff, but he's like, and he's driving us around town in his car, and it looked like one of those like something out of like Vice City, where it was like an old red car. It's just like it was like more square looking. And anyway, I don't want to go too far in the details of the car, but we're driving around town for a bit, and I'm just like, okay, like, man, this is not too bad. You know, they're gonna drop me off at home. I might start tripping or whatever. Like, you know, I'm just gonna go with the flow. And we're listening to this like crazy fucking just like EDM shit, like
Sounds like a cat trying to vomit, you know?
yeah. Yeah, and if anybody listening knows Albert, Quebec, it's like you're driving by like the Tim Hortons and like the mall with the Super C and stuff, and you're just kind of like, you know, the lights are on but everything's dark and everyone's asleep, and I'm just like, and this fucking music's like And then all of a sudden, and I'm just like, okay, like I'm okay for now. And then all of a sudden, so we're driving around for a bit, and he's got this really loud motor, like this really like loud ignition, or not ignition, sorry, muffler. And then like, anyway, yeah. So at one point we get pulled over, and we're just driving around. It's like. And I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. And like, I'm still not like I ate the mushrooms, but yeah, I'm just like kind of hammered.
Oh, you
like,
got pulled over.
Yeah, pretty much a super trick. Yeah, so we got pulled over.
Fuck.
And again, the guy driving super sober, like he's legit. He was on top of his shit, and and that was the best part is that's. Anyway, like I'll tell the rest of it. But it was like I'm sitting there and I'm just like, ah, sick. Like this is gonna be fun. And then we get pulled over. I'm like, wow, whatever. This isn't gonna be so hard. And man, no joke. This is the best part. Like we're sitting in the car. They kind of like sit there for a second. We're talking. Okay, guys. All right. We'll just keep low key. Whatever. The guy walks up to the car. The windows roll down. And he's like, can I see some license, please? And I just like look at him. And like immediately the mushrooms kicked in, like right as I was looking at this cop, like and he's just like leaning in the window and his like face started doing like some mask shit, like Jim Carrey, like fucking blah, and he's just like, can I see your ID? And I was just like, yeah, man, and like my eyes are like this. I was just like, here you go. But for some reason, I guess I look composed enough, or probably just drunk or something, that he was like, whatever, he's in the back of the car and he's like looking at it, but the whole time I'm like, oh no. Why? Like right now. Anyway, long story short, my buddy
people
goes.
Scare me when I'm on psychedelics.
Yeah.
Even people I know.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Oh, really?
Some people fucking freak me out.
So, it's true.
I can't imagine a cop. That would freak me out.
And to
I'd
be
like,
honest, he was really nice in the end of the day. But you're right. Like I started to get in my head. I was like, what if this guy's like, what if this guy's gonna, pull some shit or like, realize I'm fucked up and just like.
You never know,
or
man.
actually try to like,
Man,
tell
honestly,
or make some shit up and I wouldn't know because I'm
honestly, man, especially man, the cops, like especially like you, I don't know, man.
That's pretty much it about it.
Even the fact that I'm white or like, you know what I mean? Like I'm still like, especially around like Hull, like the cops are like, it's like harassment all the time. Like they'll just pull, like especially when I was a kid, like man, they would literally just pull you over like for nothing. And they were just like, 100%, man.
As a kid, like, what do you mean, like walking down the street? Like,
just walking down the street, just like getting to know it. Yeah, it's fucked. And like, just because they can and they have nothing else to do.
Were they assholes to you when they would pull you over?
Oh yeah, man. There's been so many fucking stories, like just fucking.
Yeah,
Like my buddy, like got in a bar fight, and like they literally just like watched. I think at one point, I can't remember exactly what it was, but they just pretty much watched him like get his ass kicked, and he was like telling them like I don't want to fight, like and then after they arrested him, like it was like
whack.
Yeah,
but
shit like that.
What
man.
about when you're a kid? You're saying you're getting pulled over. Like I'm wondering, like
not pulled over, I'm just like walking the street.
Yeah, but like they pull up to you, right?
Like yeah, they're like oh shit, like maybe we're smoking a spliff or something back in the day when it was legal in Canada, And like I used to smoke a lot of weed back in the day, and.
Yeah.
Or just like, you're just walking and it's like just Hull. It's just like shit. Like, it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
and they would just literally like, just like pull over for no reason and be like, hey, what are you guys doing? No. Like, just shit like, and like, you're like, man, you can tell we're like 15. Like, there's nothing for you to like get out of this. Like, and then they'll create fucking bullshit stories. Like the stories I told, I think I told you guys or whatever. But like, we're literally like, get pulled over and they're like, oh yeah, we just heard about some break-in robbery, like, and that's why you're pulling me over at 5 o'clock, and like in the after, like supper time, and it's daytime, like it's a bullshit story, like just shit like that. It's just like I don't know, man. It's just bad experiences with police.
Cops,
not all.
but growing up, I had like a lot of run-ins with cops over, whatever it was, whether it was like climbing things or making too much noise or
like climbing skyscrapers
or jumping off of bridges.
There's
like,
good cops.
We used
for
to
sure. There's good cops.
We used to really like
100%.
finding good like cliff jump or bridge jumping spots and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've probably like been kind of pulled over by cops like 5 or 6 times, like just growing up, like before the age of 18. But I don't know, like they were always nice with me. Like it would usually be like, one time I was with some buddies and we decided we wanted to climb like a crane in the neighborhood, and we had scaled the top of it going out the way, and some people thought we were like trying to do some fuck shit, and they called and the police were totally like, they were like, well, it's clear you're not stealing anything and you've got no negative goals
history
here,
or,
so like we're just gonna let you go.
And
then there's a famous bridge here in Ottawa, you guys probably know, Black Bridge. You guys ever heard of Black Bridge?
Yeah. I used to go to that bridge every day.
So the homies who don't know, who are listening, I guess, right? Like, it's a bridge in Ottawa where it's well known for hanging out on it and jumping off of it and just chilling. And, you know, I went there, too, when I was young. Like, have you guys ever climbed to the top? Because you know how you can jump from, like, where you walk out, but you can also climb right to the top of the bridge and jump from there? Have any of you guys?
No.
I've never jumped in. The only thing was like a rock close to, like, it's like on the other side.
The Hull Cliffs? The cliffs on
you know,
Hull side?
Yeah, I've jumped off those ones.
I've
The
been
ones
there,
that have
too.
like the paintings of arrows on them and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
just like glass broken on the ground everywhere and shit.
I love that spot.
I've jumped off there.
I've
never
gotten
jumped
glass
off
on
the
my
bridge.
feet there a couple times.
People are
I
fucking
actually
reckless.
had my, like, I don't know, like, maybe 16th, 17th birthday there. We just had a bunch of homies on the rocks, and, like, yeah, but the bridge... Yeah, we were jumping off the top of the bridge when the cops came. Same deal. Okay, you gotta leave. And I don't know. Yeah, I've been lucky enough never to have a really aggressive experience with a cop, but I've been caught with booze by cops when I was too young and caught, like, trespassing a bunch of times when I was young. But they would always just, like, let me go.
Oh, man, I've
Nothing
had
crazy.
times where we're just literally, like, we're walking away from the bar, like, on Portage Street, and, like, one of my best friends is, like, Jamaican, half Scottish, actually.
No way.
Yeah.
That's an interesting mix.
Yeah, super funny, fucking one of the best dudes I know. And,
Yeah,
like,
respect.
and he, Brazo.
Shout out Adam, yeah, Brazo.
And then
His
he
name's
gets, like, just, like,
Brazo?
harassed by cops. Like, they, like, again, man, they're up to no good. Like, they're just fucking,
Does
like...
have nothing to do,
being,
eh?
like, especially, man, I'm sorry, but, like, Hall cops, man, they're just, like... I'm sure you've experienced this kind of
Honestly,
shit.
It's because a lot of times,
Quebec
yeah,
cops.
100%.
Just Quebec
Quebec
cops
cops
in general.
suck.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
They're fucking
the next level.
assholes.
And then I'm like, yo, like he's literally not doing anything, and I just like just kind of step up in the way, and I'm the one who's getting arrested and put in the back of the fucking vehicle.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding
You've
at all.
been put in the back of a
Oh
cop
yeah,
car?
Well, a couple times, but.
Well, I was gonna say they've done the same when we were drinking one night. Like, well, it wasn't guy.
and then I just talk. I'm just like, yo, like you don't know what you're doing, honestly.
Well,
because
what came out of it? Like, did they take
Well,
you
no,
there, or?
no, they pulled over to a parking lot.
Can we
They
please
pulled
get
over.
you getting stuffed in the back of a cop car story? Because this
This
is like...
is a story. They pulled over because I start talking, right? And then, like, you know, they're like, oh wow, maybe this kid is educated. Maybe this kid knows exactly how, like, the law system works. Because I have a fucking pretty good idea of how shit goes down, how it works. And that's all, you just need to be educated, because education will help you get out of these situations. And I'm like, look, man, like, what's gonna go on? You guys are gonna arrest me, bring me to drunk tank, like what's going on here? Like, you literally arrested me
I have a
for no
similar story.
probable cause at all.
Yeah,
you
where did
literally
this
just
whole
put me
thing
because
start?
I had an opinion. And then they
Right.
honestly, like, after, and then I kept going. I started talking about lawyers. I started talking about this and all that. And, like, they literally just, like, left me. Like, they uncuffed me, boom, give me my ID back, give me my phone back, drop me off at home, boom, done.
The only time I've been in a cop car, I was like 12 years old. I was a little kid. I was climbing it's all fucking climbing.
Yeah, you're always climbing.
That's it.
But I was on some roof as a little kid, like Ashbury High School. I was on top of their roof, and when I jumped down, I landed in front of the principal. And the principal tried to scare the shit out of me, and got some cops to drive me home. That's the only time. But fuck, I don't know. I'd be pretty scared if I were in the back of a cop car. I mean, when I was in the back of a cop car as a little kid, I kind of knew that they were just taking me home. You know what I mean?
3 things that I've developed over years of just, like, learning how to, like, not, because I was, you know, Hull is ghetto in its own way.
Too,
you know, it's not like ghetto, but it's ghetto enough. Like, it's just like, you know, like, people get, like,
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's-
I
agree.
was at
And
Mardi Gras one time.
back in the
and-
day.
No,
more
no,
back in the day.
Well,
But
I saw some motherfuckers get stabbed.
that's
like-
exactly it.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah,
here.
for real.
Same here.
I saw a guy get choked out by a cop literally for saying, like, he was like, oh, these guys are trying to hurt us, like, when we leave this like festival ground. And he was trying to explain it to the guy, and the guy's like, listen. And it was literally a police officer, like, chokes him out, like, grabs the kid, and he's just like, listen.
Do you guys?
And I was like, holy
That's
fuck.
fucked.
Oh, no, but honestly, it was one. Wait, what were you going to say first?
Oh, it's okay. You finish up. It's all good.
Are you sure?
I don't want to interrupt you. Yeah.
No worries, because I have another story. But,
That was
like,
a huge.
ask for-
This is
ask
a
for-
I was
huge
just gonna
Canadian
say,
moment right there.
like-
Just wanna say that.
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah,
gonna say.
That's true. That's Canadian.
Oh no, you go for it. No, seriously, no. You.
In
I just said
Hull,
A. That's hilarious.
You know, when you're growing up in Ottawa, you go to Hull to party because Hull's a lot more
18.
loose.
It's crazy.
Even
No,
if you're not 18, it's much
provincial
easier.
borderline,
to-
man. It's
Even
literally
if
just
you're not
across the
in-
bridge, and
Yeah.
you're there, and
No,
it's
you're
like
right, though.
18.
But even if you're 16, like
They'll let you in.
if you use your
Yeah.
buddy's ID, or even if you show an ID that it's got that says that you're 16. A lot of the time, the guys just look at it and like let you in. You know,
Yeah.
they don't give a shit. Anyway,
That's why the cops adapt.
I was at this very greasy club in Hull called Mardi Gras. I'm sure you guys know it, right?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Where it's fucking greasy little club, right? But I'm there.
It's like that fucking thing in the middle. It's just like a square that everybody dances in and shit.
Yeah, like I love dancing. I love to dance. But so we're all dancing. We're having a good time, and then pop, pop, pop outside, right? Boom. They turn the music off. They turn the lights on. They go, there was just a shooting outside. We've locked all the doors. Nobody in or out. Everybody's in lockdown inside. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
So
Damn,
some
bro.
fuck shit's going down outside. We're in Mardi Gras. I'm with my friends, and we're like, fuck this.
It's like right on Portage. Like there's government buildings there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So we were like, fuck this, we don't want to be locked in here. And we actually left through the fire escape despite their instructions to stay inside. And we make our way onto Portage Street, and we see sort of the scene of what had happened. There's a body on the ground. I don't know if he lived or not. Don't know. But
Jesus.
Guy on the ground, bloodied up guy. Like, I don't know if he was shot or stabbed or whatever, but like, there's this whole fucked scene going on, and this guy runs up to us in a white shirt covered in blood, and and my one friend who's like, I don't know,
No way.
I guess very sociable is like one way of calling. He's like, yo, what happened? Like, what's up with all the blood in your shirt? Like, what the fuck happened? And this guy was like, the guy who we were talking to was like, just so riled up on adrenaline and just like so like jacked up that he was just like really eager to tell us what had happened. And he was like, some motherfucker started talking shit, and we started going at it, and then all of a sudden, like, somebody pulls a gun, and boom, boom, they shot my friend, and like started fighting them, and I got stabbed twice. Take a look at this, and he like lifts his shirt up, and there's 2 puncture wounds in
Holy
his fucking
fuck.
like abdomen.
Christ.
This guy's covered
Holy
in blood,
shit.
but he's like so jacked up on adrenaline, I guess. Like,
Yeah,
he was just
maybe
like,
a little cocaine
he,
too.
who knows? But he was just like
Probably supplements
speaking
in
at
there.
a million miles an hour,
That's
and it's like
wild, dude.
So I don't know, like I don't know that that's just because Hull is sketch or because this was where I was, but yeah, no, like
No, that's pretty typical.
I
shit
grew up-
goes down.
That's an
there,
average
for
Tuesday
sure.
night.
Yeah, that's a typical party scene
Just to
thing,
give you
man.
perspective, I literally grew up 5 minutes down the road from there.
Yeah, literally.
No way,
side
really.
of those
So
buses go?
from like Le Pub and Mardi Gras and
Like
like
down at the end with all the big building, and then you keep going down.
yeah,
Like the
you
other
know
way.
what I'm talking about? Like, you've got Boston Pizza, and then there's a bunch of nice bars on that strip.
Yeah.
And then if you go down from the strip to like where the SAQ is, you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
that direction, but further down is where like I grew up, man.
Right. Yeah. You know how like SAQ, there's like
on
the
that
street
tree.
parallel.
So what I'm
to
saying,
it,
when I'm
and
saying
that's
I'm
where the
walking around
pubs are.
Hull, like I'm walking around that area.
Yeah.
You're
no.
talking about the back alley
You know?
roads,
So
like
it's just
where
like-
you turn left
Look,
into that
it's not
like
like-
three-way
it's not like
sort of
great- like,
split,
there's way more
back
ghetto
alley, like
places,
Le Bop
like,
and shit
you
like
know,
that.
like-
and,
Yeah, there's
You know
like,
what I mean? Like shit
yeah.
actually goes down in certain areas. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying that like it's not like the most like, oh, okay, well, like nothing's not gonna happen.
It's not
You know what I mean?
hardcore gangsta shit there, but it's also like shit does
It's
go
just
down.
yeah, what like rarely, but it does. You know what I mean?
Some
And it's
people
like
get
if you're
shot,
there,
Yeah.
stabbed.
yeah,
here and there.
and it's not, and very, very like, and it's gotten a lot better. It's gotten a lot better.
It's funny though because
gotten a lot better, I
like
can just say
Ottawa
that.
kids
That's wild.
know
Hull, they used to call Hull the Petit Chicago, like the little Chicago.
Little Chicago.
But like back in the day, like I've heard stories of like in the 80s, like people would get 70s, 80s, like people would get off the bus and like you get harassed, you get fucking mugged,
Damn.
shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't
Back in the
know.
day.
Like the main thing I remember at Hull is growing up. Like
It's legendary in its own way.
We heard when we were in grade 9 that there was this special store you could go to where they sell you alcohol if you're underage called the Dépanneur, and we thought
Oh yeah.
that.
Oh, there's a couple of those
we
around.
thought that the Dépanneur was one place. We thought it was one store
It's
in
like a
Hull.
franchise.
We thought it was one weird little store where you could go there
it's
and you
all
could
of
buy
them.
booze. But I'm sure many people in the podcast know and like. But for those of you who don't, like, Dépanneur is basically just a convenience store in
yeah,
Quebec.
Dépanneur. It's
Right, convenience store in Quebec. But we thought it was like one little niche place where you could buy booze if you were younger. So we look up Dépanneur, we're like, oh, we found the place. we
This is like a normal Dépanneur.
We found the
It's the same.
secret location to buy alcohol.
It was like the last level before the
some
boss.
small locally owned store around the corner.
Yeah,
Beat the last level.
And yeah, that's what we did. like when we were in
And it
grade
worked?
9, like we would walk fucking 25 minutes from Ontario into Quebec and go to Dep and be like, can I have some beers, please? And yeah, they would always hook it up.
It's fucking awesome.
That
They
reminds
don't
me
give
of
a shit in Hull at all.
It's true. Back in high school, a guy and us used to go to filming, like we were saying,
Crack
like there's a
Shack?
crack shack.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
called the
literally a
Crack
place
Shack.
could be called the crack shack. And we were all hanging
What
out
does
there.
that mean?
And the best part though,
It's just a corner store.
It was just a corner
greasy,
store.
and they didn't check your ID, and we're like 16.
but it
we're
was a
like,
corner
"Fine,
store. It was one of those corner stores that's at the bottom of an apartment building. Like, and not
Yeah,
one.
you don't get that when booze is
Like,
regulated the way
right?
it is in Ontario. But like in Quebec, you
I
can
know, it's
find
great.
places like that.
Yeah.
great,
Well,
though.
not only is it
Yeah.
at the bottom of an apartment building, but it's like a complex of 8 similar looking apartment buildings,
Yeah.
and one of them has a tiny little fucking store in the bottom of it, tucked away in the corner, that sells beer. You know, and, like it was so funny because like our school ground fence is like here, and we literally had a fucking hole ripped in the fence. And we'd all stand there smoking darts at lunch and like buying cigars and cigarettes from the store. And literally our fucking school grounds is right there. We're looking at like the cafeteria and stuff.
The Dep that I would go to in high school was so famous among kids in Ontario that on a Friday night, if you went to this place, there would be a line of underage kids. All like lined up outside trying to get their fucking Four Locos. You guys remember Four Locos?
Oh, dude.
I've had a lot of
Those
bad
are
nights.
dangerous.
Actually, talking about
Four
my
Locos don't exist anymore.
Yeah,
not in
really?
Canada.
For
That's
a
why you
reason,
can't get your
probably.
hands on them. But
Shit should be
I
illegal.
guess for people
was
who
rough.
don't know what Four Locos are, they're basically. I mean, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're like 11%, and they're like
Just like sugar
half
water.
Just
caffeine
sugar,
and
yeah.
half
Yeah,
liquor.
you get
and it's
fucked.
fucked.
It
Like,
is.
You drink
It's
3 of those?
yeah,
It's
you drink
gross.
even 2 of them, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And like, my good friend, I mentioned him earlier. I think his name's Nick Campo. He's an Australian guy. He came to Canada for high school in like grade 10. In grade 11, we went to this festival. You guys know Glow Fair? Glow
I think
Fair.
I've heard of it, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
I think I've
yeah.
heard of it.
It's like,
I don't know
it's
it. I can't
nothing
say that.
crazy, but on Bank Street they turned into like
Yeah.
this music
So
scene.
Yeah.
the last year at Glow Fair, I actually saw a guy going by on a bike, and literally he's biking, and he had a fucking whole frame stage around his like bicycle, and a dude was DJing on the back.
Yeah,
And the dude was literally just biking, like, but he had a contraption to obviously help him like with the fucking weight of it. But
So my Australian friend thought he was a savage when it came to drinking because the Aussies guys, right? And we're like,
They
okay,
guys.
we're like,
You know, fuck.
Yeah.
He's hung out with some
Okay,
Australians.
buddy.
Went to Australia.
Yeah, old Vic.
you looking for this? But
you know,
are you looking for this?
Yeah,
Okay,
old
so
Jamie,
we're
not Jamie. Just
he's like,
random
oh,
out.
I could have drink you any day of the week. And we're like, okay, buddy, like, wait till you try fucking Four Loko. So we bring him to Hull. We get him 2 grape Four Locos. He drinks both of them, and 45 minutes later, we're at some little like I don't know, like some like market kind of stand, like looking at necklaces or something. And Nick like is talking to the woman and kind of loses his focus, and he starts looking like this. He goes, you know, he's really holding it, and then he takes one step back and just projectile vomits all over the ground in front of this poor lady's little like.
Oh my god.
And I'm
little,
sure it
like,
was
street shop.
colorful too.
The woman's like, yeah, it's bright purple. like deep purple, you know, like
Yeah,
Prince purple,
that
like
sounds
Saints
about
Row
right.
purple, you know, and it's like it's all over the ground, and this woman's like, you can't fucking puke in front of my stand, and like Nick's like, oh, I'm sorry, man, like my bad, I'm Australian, fucking runs off, and yeah, no,
Just hanging out with Grimace from McDonald's.
well, I don't know what to tell you, man, I'm fucking Australian, but. Yeah, Four Locos not to be fucked with.
No.
I don't know those videos.
Do not
You ever see
underestimate.
guys like shotgunning Four Loco Golds or whatever on? I don't know. That's aggressive. I can't do
I
that.
saw a guy drinking 2 sticks of
Can't
Bacardi
imagine.
on YouTube, and that was pretty fucked.
Yeah, people are like,
I've
just
seen
like,
Like,
I'm
part of me
talking
is
like
like,
3
why
seconds,
why
like,
do you even want to
Fuck
do that?
liquor
I don't
chugs.
know.
But honestly,
Yeah, right.
I have
Fuck
a
'em.
really like I actually have a like this is the recent story like that I've actually experienced, and there's a bit of detail to it, but it's like it's something that I actually like. I think it was this summer. I think that it happened. Or was it last summer? No, I think it was this. I don't know. It was recent. It was really recent. And it was a crazy situation that it was just like the way that it unfolded was like it just like something happens and then it unfolds a bit more and then you're like, okay, you assess the situation, what should we do? But I'll give like a little resume of it. But like basically what had happened was my buddy's down from Montreal, he's hanging out. He has 2 guitars in the back of his car, and this is like a Honda fucking like CRV, like fucking 2001 or some shit. It's like one of those old fucking CRVs, you know?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know that
and
one,
he's
for
actually
sure.
he just came back tree planting, actually, ironically, Sam.
Let's go.
And-
We're talking about tree
low.
planting soon, eh? But
Yeah.
anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah. But dude, so yeah, and then
Shout out
so
Sam.
it's not his
Yeah.
guitars,
What's
but
up,
it's
Sam?
it's our other buddy Ian, and he also tree plants. But anyway, it's his guitars, and they're jamming and stuff. And Sam was gonna bring back his gear or whatever back to Montreal. And so then Sam has gear in his car. We're like, oh yeah, what are we doing? You know, we're like, oh, let's go out and have a beer. We end up going to Hull, out to Hull. Fuck. Anyway, we ended up going out to Hull. We ended up staying way fucking later at the bars than we thought, you know. And Sam's just like super light on the drinks, you know, being responsible, all that shit. Ends up talking to this broad. You know, he's like, okay, I'm gonna go chill with this broad later. I'm like, it's all good. I'm peacing out. Like, I end up walking home, and then so what happened was he calls me, but I'm passed out. So the next morning I wake up, he's like, dude, somebody broke into my car and fucking stole Ian's guitars.
Oh, this was that fucking.
I was like, what?
This was that time that his guitar.
How many guitars?
It was 2. It was an electric guitar and an acoustic guitar.
But it was like his
And
guitar.
it's
We're
like-
talking
because-
about like close to $1,000 or something like that.
Wow, between both, man, it would be like, fuck, man. It'd
But
be
that
more like
was-
it'd be like more like 2.
Yeah, but that was like
let's
his.
average it out. Let's average it out at
That's
1,000
crazy.
each, like, because the guitars are expensive.
No, but aside from the value, that was his Ibanez shit. Though,
yeah, it
right?
was like his.
that was
It's
like
not
his
only
shit.
that,
like-
it's
Sentimental value.
sentimental value, exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, holy shit! Like he's like, yeah, man, like he's gonna be pissed. And I'm like, well, dude, like what the fuck? He's like, I was like, didn't you not lock your car? He's like, yeah, I don't know, I must have like left it open, blah blah blah. And I was like, fuck, man, what the fuck? So I was walking over to Lac LeMay, which is just like a beach and all, like down the
I know
hall,
Lac
yeah.
LeMay.
And I was walking like, and the only parking that they have, and you have to walk in like, I don't know, 2 clicks in there. To like, so I have a cooler, I got my dog, I got my skateboard, I'm fucking walking like 2 clicks, I get there, and then I get this call, he's like, yo, fucking shit went down, like, man, I need you, like, to come help me out, we gotta figure this out. Like, fuck. I just walked into this fucking Lac LeMay now, so I fucking walk another, like, 2 clicks, back to my car with all my beer, like, fucking, it was my buddy's birthday, so I'm driving back, go to this place, and we figure it out. And so we're like, shit, man, like, what do we do? He was like, yeah, this is fucked up, man. I was like, yo. And so he's like, I'm gonna call the cops. I'm gonna call the cops, because at this point, it's like, you know, man, we're old enough to be like, okay, like, you know,
You don't need to defend yourself for calling the police over
No,
$2,000 worth of stolen
no,
goods.
exactly, no, but I mean, like, it's
Right
it's,
call.
Yeah, it's just
right.
more of like, okay, but then, man, cops are
Agreed.
like, this is not pressing matter. Like, they don't give a fuck. Like, okay, we'll fill an incident report. We'll be there, and like, you know, we'll be there. And then really, man, we were like an hour and a half. But Sam had posted a fucking, sorry, he looked on Kijiji. Boom.
And he found
No
them that
way.
quick.
Finds the fucking ad.
That guy's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, what a
whoever
dumbass.
whoever stole that
next
shit,
day, next
No,
fucking
right?
day.
he's an idiot.
Oh yeah, what
For
happened?
$900, posting for $900.
Both?
I'm like, oh my, no, just one. So we only got one.
Unbelievable.
We only found one guitar.
But what did you do?
Oh, I took shit in my own hands, man. I was like, all right, perf. So then basically I created like a fake profile essentially.
Yeah.
And I downloaded like a fake app that gives you a fake number, and I'm like, hi, my name's Jonathan, like, you know, no, and then I even called him and talked to him. I was like, hi, my name's Jonathan. Yeah, like, I only have like 800. If you can accept 800, then like I'll take the guitar. It's just like my sister can only give me a ride. What time should I show up? That's all I said. What time should I show up? And then he's like, oh, this time works. I was like, okay, so where do I go? And then he gives me his address.
No way. Did you just pull up with the boys and like?
I was like, Sam, look, man, like, we don't know who stole this guitar.
Yeah.
We don't know what kind of people are on the other end of this. So, like, there's an empty wine bottle in the back of the car just in case. Leave the doors open. Park on a side street, one street away from the, like, we drove by the house, scoped it out. You know, parked 2 streets over.
So you said you never know.
Eddie Street.
Somebody could be like crazy.
And we ended up talking to the cops later on,
yeah.
by the way, just, you know, but like, we ended up talking to the cops, it was all fine, but it was like, man, they didn't show up until we were all done all that and got back. Anyway, so we were like, you know, stealth about it. Like, we saw, like, we scoped out the place, we parked on the side road, a couple streets down. We're like, okay, cool. Then I text the guy, okay, I'm here. And then basically, like, I'm on the phone. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm here. Like, with this fucking voice and shit. And he comes out of this house, and you could tell he was like fucking like one of these like tattooed fucking like French guy, like, what the fuck, chain, like, you know, drug dealer, fucking and I'm just on the other side of the room. I was like, yo, listen, this is what's going down. Like, I switch voices right away. Like, I'm not even joking with you. I was like, this is what's going down.
That's sick.
I was like, yo, listen, I know you stole that guitar. And
I remember
like,
this, by the way.
Yeah, and I was like, I know you got that guitar from somewhere. And look, I don't want to get anybody involved, but you leave the guitar there. And I'm gonna come and get it. And we're
did he? Was he just like? Did he know he was beat, or did he try and defend himself?
Oh, he got shook a bit there. He was like kind of pissed. He was like, "Oh, what the fuck? Like, I'm just trying to feed the family, and no." And I'm like, "Look, man, I don't care what you did. I don't care anything.
Yeah.
Like, look, that's gear, and I know it's stolen. And look, it's your choice. Like, you decide what you want to do. Either you just let that shit there, I come and take it." And he couldn't even see me, and I'm like across the street. It's like he was looking somewhere else.
Dude,
and then he left the guitar there, and I literally just crossed the street, get the guitar, walk back to the side where the car was, boom, get in the car, we fucking drove off.
I think that's unbelievable, though, that the guy goes, oh, like, you're calling me out for stealing, I'm trying to feed my family, fuck you for doing this.
So what happened was, I was like,
fuck you, like, what do you mean?
Saying that
what if someone stole from you and your family?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you think other people aren't going through your shit? Like, who do you think you are to steal people's shit? Especially
it's just a shitty act in general.
Musical instruments, like, you know, I don't know, man. Like, that has sentimental value to people, and on top of that,
he was like, oh, I didn't steal the guitar. It was some guy. His name is like, it was like Pooks or some shit. I don't fucking remember his name. And then
his name was Pooks.
Like, so yeah, it's probably like went into a car. The car was unlocked.
I bet his fucking name was Pooks.
Probably went down to fucking pay off some type of debt. Probably pay off a debt or some shit. Like, think of it, pay off a debt, or here, take this guitar.
100%.
We're square now, you know, that kind of fucking ideology. And then that's what it was. And this guy's like, okay, sick, I'm gonna try and flip it now, because he has no idea where this guitar came from. I think that's what went down. Because he told me, he was like, oh, this guy stole it. He didn't steal it, but he's like, this guy just sold it to me today.
You've got a good Quebec accent.
Yeah, I'm kind of French.
This guy sold it
This
to
guy,
me.
he stole something from me, and I told him, I was like, yo, listen.
I was
like, bro.
I have a brother.
Anyway, and it was just like, and Sam was like, I was like, yo, like, I'm like, stand at the corner of the street, away from me. You know, I'll walk down the road a bit. That way, you keep a visual on me. I keep a visual on Buddy. If shit happens, like I did not, like I'm not gonna pretend like I'm some like fucking diehard, like, you know, like
no, but you were considerate of the situation.
Okay, look, if I just talk with my words, like, we can figure this out. You know what I mean? And that's all it was. And I was like, as soon as like I was like, hello, I'm here, and it was just funny, like, because you know, you feel pretty like on point. You know, you're like,
you feel gangsta.
And I was like, listen, man, you're gonna drop the guitar now. It just like changed. So I was like, what? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I know you got this guitar, and this guitar was stolen last night in the car. Gave him the description and gave him where, location, everything, and it was like, what the fuck? And we ended up getting the guitar, and
I wish I was there.
That must have felt good to track that down.
Yeah, damn right, man. Damn right, especially for Ian too. Then I called
one of my best friends, Ian, man, and I'm like, yo, Ian. I was like, I got your guitar back. He was like, what?
That doesn't happen often.
It doesn't.
He's like, what do you mean? I was like, dude, I literally got your guitar back. And he was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, man, because I know how much that meant to you, man. And he's like, oh my God, man.
And which one did you get back again? Electric?
It was the acoustic.
It was the acoustic.
And it meant a bit more to him, too. Like, he liked it a lot, like the acoustic.
I think so, too.
I think it was gifted to him or some shit. And it's a really nice Norman fucking guitar. Super nice, man. And like, yeah, anyway, so I ended up going to get this guitar back, and we show back up, and then finally the cops show up. And then I was just like straight up. I was just straight up with them. I was like, well, listen, man, like, we found the ad on Kijiji. Like, the whole time you were taking your fucking time, we were just more fucking, you know, we got some progress done. We found the guitar.
Took initiative.
Yeah, we took initiative, exactly. And I was like, and then at the end of it all, it was like, you know, though I explained it to him, it's like, oh, well, you should have waited. No. Like, that's what protocol is.
But it's not like you guys threatened them.
Fuck,
you know, you're just kind of like, yo, listen.
There's no threats. There's nothing.
No,
you never got
like,
physical. I was just like, listen, I know what you did, or I know where you got this guitar from. If you don't want any further heat, just be smart about it and like just let it go, and then we're done.
Yeah, it's like, is the guitar worth your fucking being put in the spotlight?
all I
like,
want is
you
a
know,
guitar. That's ours. It's a right thing to do. Like that's our. It's his. It's not even mine. It's my friend's. Like it's his soul. Like it's like you take that piece of equipment, man. It's like taking a skateboard away from a skater. You know, it's
100%.
like it's the same fucking
Yeah,
thing.
someone
It's like an
stole my
extension
guitar.
of
I'd be
themselves.
fucking sad as fuck if
You know what
someone
I'm
took my
saying?
guitar. Like,
Anyway, yeah, man. It was really. It was an
That's
intense.
a great story, man. I wish I had stories where I could say my shit got stolen and I got it back. Because I'll tell you what, every time I've had something stolen, it stayed stolen. So
I mean, my bike's got. I don't know about you guys, man. My bike's got stolen.
I mean,
before,
yeah,
and
that
it
was a
fucking
pretty great
sucks.
story.
plenty
I don't know
times.
why I just pictured you like being like the Godfather, almost like rolling up, be like, "Hello, yeah, please leave it there. Hey, you listen to me, huh? Like, if you don't put that
I'm
down,
not
it's
even
gonna
joking,
be
man.
some
Like, I'm not
bad news
bullshitting
for
you.
you."
Like, I'm not bullshitting you. It was legitly like
So
that.
you
It was
wanna
like,
put it in
yeah, I'm
my
just
head?
around. I'm just around the corner. I'm like, yo, Sam, stay at the corner here.
You steal my friend's
keep behind
guitar on the day my daughter's getting married. Now, you come,
Damn, it's a good impression.
there was a guy. There was a guy.
That is really good.
There was a guy hired to play at her wedding, to sing her a song, and she was gonna use the guitar, and you fucking took it.
I'll make you one offer, an offer you
At
can't
the end of the
refuse.
day,
Dude, you fucking nailed the brand out, dude.
at the end of the day, man. At the end of the day, it's like you just try and be away from your ego and just try and be humbled.
Yeah.
Because it could have been a completely different situation. It could have been like maybe this guy was down to, maybe he had I don't know, who knows, he had a weapon or something.
Honestly,
it could have been
yeah.
like, I didn't know what was on the other side of this. You know what I mean? But I just showed up and then he answered the phone. I was like, yo, listen, like. And then he came outside.
Honestly,
I'm like,
I'm
not
sure
gonna
the
fucking
guy
engage.
was just down bad, but that doesn't excuse it, you know? I think when he was
100%.
caught, it sounds like from what you tell us, it sounds like when he realized he was caught, he kind of just acted on it, you know?
Well, I told him too.
Did you press charges or did you just get the guitar back?
No, I didn't. I told all the parties involved. Essentially, like I said originally, I was like, listen, all I want is
As
the guitar
long
back.
as I get my shit back,
Nothing.
we're even.
Fucking, we walk away.
Yeah.
We look the other way.
I
In
do
that
the same
scenario,
thing, yeah,
in that
fair
scenario,
enough,
it's like, look, it's all good. I don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know, yeah.
And like,
I don't know. I probably wouldn't.
but I did
have been mad
like,
about it.
I got like interviews, so to speak, with the local authorities, and they're like, oh well, you should have waited for this. You should have waited for us. What happened? No.
That's
And I just
fucking
gave them.
stupid. I
gave
can't
them
believe they said that, too.
I gave them
your
like.
business, I figured it out. That's what I did.
No, I just
Why are
told
they
them,
getting mad at you for taking initiative and solving your own problem? Like, it's not like you invaded anybody's privacy
Yeah,
or
saved the
like
city
took
money.
action, or it's not like you were some kind of what's the word I'm looking for when you're like working for the law, but you're not
PI,
for the law.
private investigator.
No, like
Vigilante.
yeah, vigilante. It's not like you're some
Yeah.
vigilante. It's like
No,
you're a
exactly,
guy
yeah,
who
yeah.
used common sense and got your shit back. Like
Yeah, exactly.
the
That's
cops,
exactly it.
the cops were obviously on your side and they were good, but like
They're actually chill. Like the guy was really chill. He was understanding. He was like,
I feel like they should have been like A to B, like respect for getting your shit back. But
probably
whatever,
low-key,
it doesn't really matter.
Probably low key was like, oh, it's cool. Do a little
Yeah.
bit of investigation. That's cool, man. That's
Yeah,
cool.
for
It wasn't
sure.
much. It was like, yeah, you're fucking dumb. Like you just posted an ad of. Well, I guess he didn't even know. That doesn't
No,
make
for
sense.
sure.
Like you don't post an ad if you're aware that you just stole merchandise.
No, dude.
Like 24 hours.
Speaking
just
of which,
happened.
like I have a
Doesn't make
great,
sense.
like I'm not gonna go into the story of this. I'll tell you another quick story that's related to that. But like one where I used to work at Steve's Music downtown in Ottawa. And,
No
like,
fucking
and, like,
way. Are you kidding? On Rito Street?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
My first ever guitar, I bought it from there.
Really? Right on, man.
going right
Yeah,
back.
same. And I fucking I was like working the warehouse work at Steve's, and but there was like a guy. This is just one of those nights where we had gone home, and somebody had like I guess come on the street and like shattered the window. And they used to have these gates that you would lock, right? Like one of those kind of like lattice work sort of gates that blocks you from actually getting into the store. Or whatever you call it, and so it's like you couldn't actually get into the store, and like obviously the alarm's going off, but they took right at the entrance of the store. There was like some of the really nice guitars, like behind the actual desk. Yeah, they'd have like the $5,000 certain series like Stratocasters, whatever.
Yeah.
And the limited edition shit, and like I guess two guys had taken like two guitars from the front row, like from the front hooks, like over the kind of gate thing. You know, they broke the window and then they just kind of like up on a ladder or something.
People
Or
are
not a ladder,
fucking
but
bastards.
yeah. And dude, no joke, fucking within like 4 days, like not even 3 days later, dude, there was an ad on Kijiji for these guitars. And not only like, obviously it wasn't like the photos of the guitars they had taken, but they had taken stock photos from Fender. So they had taken photos of like these model of guitars, but the ones from the Fender
These
website.
guys thought they were so smart.
They thought they were smart. Yeah, they were like,
like,
oh, we're
no one
coming
will
around.
ever catch on
Yeah,
to
and
this.
like me being some dude working in a fucking music store warehouse, and I'm like 18 years old. I literally looked at it and I was like,
You're like, you guys are idiots.
yeah, dude, two different angle photos. I'm like, the finish on these two guitars is different. I was like, yeah, for sure, it's the same color, it's the same type of guitar, it's the same type of model, but like, it's different slabs of wood. Like you can see the wood grain is different.
Yeah.
Like in these two pictures of the same guitar, so to speak. And then they're like, yeah, listing the, and then they fucking they ended up listing. I think it was. I'm trying to remember. They were like, it was brand new, or I don't know. There was a bunch of other details. Anyway, point being, they got caught. Like, they got caught. These guys are 2 blocks from the store. They posted it, like, 3 days later. Like, I'm like, dude, you took a $5,000 Stratocaster from a fucking store, like, down there with cameras.
It
Like, I was like,
always feels good to get a win in a place of employment, you know? Like, it sounds like,
Yeah, dude.
so you're working at Steve's and you help to, like, solve this mystery, eh?
oh, dude, 100%. It was like,
Yeah.
well, like I told my manager comes down, and he's kind of like, he wasn't too shook about it. He's like, oh, fuck, it's a couple, a few $1,000 guitars, but at this point, like, Steve's was doing pretty good for
$5,000,
the,
yeah, it was pretty
and
good.
Steve's over time was like doing good for the music
Steve's
industry,
doing
and like,
right.
especially from back in the day. So it's like they weren't
And you guys got them
worried
back.
about it,
eh?
and it's like, yeah, we got them both back, and like they weren't worried in the sense that they were like panicking over it. But he comes down, and he's like, no. I'm like, yo, Peter, I'm like, look at this. This model of guitar is literally for sale on Kijiji, and it was posted an hour ago. And I was like,
yeah.
it's the same guitar. I was like, but these 2 photos don't match. And I was like, and the serial number is different. And he's just like, well, yeah, that's probably them.
Man, I remember
2 blocks from the store, like.
my first serious job. So, like, when I was really young, my first job ever was a trampoline coach. I was like 14.
No way.
Or I was like 15. Yeah,
Oh, shit.
I went and got like my level 1 in trampoline coaching, and I used to coach at Spring Action, right?
Wow.
But over time, like, I was like, okay, I want to just train when it comes to jumping, and I want to get a real job. So, so I just started, because like when you're working at the place that you train at, you associate training with work, and you don't want to go that often. So I quit, and I started working at the Clock Tower. So Ottawa
Maria.
people will know the Clock Tower.
Are you talking Bank Street?
The location I was at was actually Beechwood. Do you guys know the Beechwood
Nice, I like the
location?
Beechwood one. That's
Yeah,
nice.
so
I've
that-
never been there.
That's where I was.
There's a clock tower close to here, right? I think, like on Wellington.
Yeah, there's one in
There's a
Wellington,
bunch of them.
near Richmond and Wellington. Yeah,
Like,
But the clock tower
it's west,
I was
right? It's
at
west.
was Beechwood,
Yeah.
and I
Yes,
started
more
out as a dishwasher at like 16, and I washed dishes forever. But one night, like I used to always, you get one staff meal, and I loved like bringing friends, and like it's a staff meal, but really you can kind of wing it. Pardon the pun. Your shift ends, and instead of 8 wings, you put like 16 wings, and you can have your friends come, and your shift ends, you go out, you eat 16 wings for free with your friends, right?
Yeah.
So I would do that often. One time I had like 3 of my homies over, and we're eating wings after the shift. It's like 11:30, and all of a sudden somebody starts making a scene in the bar.
Wait, who is this? Like the people that you fucking
Just
rolled up with, or
some
is this
drunk
like,
fuck, just some random guy. Like
Really, yeah?
we're sitting at a table.
and you're working,
I'm off, so
but you had your homies there.
Exactly. So
Oh,
I
shit.
finish my shift. I change.
You sit down.
I sit down with my friends to
Yeah.
eat my staff meal and hook them up, and we're hanging
Nice,
out.
that's proper.
And then I hear some commotion going on at the bar, and what had happened is this drunk guy got so drunk that he forgot how many beers he drank, and he was convinced that our server was overcharging him, which she wasn't. So he was trying to argue that like his bill was like $70 more expensive than it actually was, but really he was just so drunk that like he didn't remember how many beers he had. And so the server, her name's Lindsay, really nice girl, really petite. We're talking like 5'1", thin girl. She's like, you need to pay your bill. Guy loses his mind. He starts yelling all this horrible shit. fuck this establishment, fuck you and your whore waitresses, I'm not paying this fucking bill.
Classic drunk move
Man,
right there.
he
I
starts
was gonna say
knocking.
her waitress to get me pretty amped up.
No,
Beat
it's,
the shit
no,
out of
no.
her.
You know what?
It was bad, and he
Sorry,
starts
sorry.
knocking over like high stools at the bar. Fuck this
Right.
place, whatever. And I'm seeing this, and I'm getting fucking
Just call your
angry.
brother. It's like show
No,
fucking just
but I'm
DT everyone. Fucking jujitsu.
Don't worry,
Just, take
my
'em out.
brother comes into play in this story.
No way. I was just
He
kidding. That's
actually
funny.
does.
That's
He
hilarious.
does. So, for the
Go GSP
audience,
on
I
it.
guess
Oh my
my
God.
little brother.
I
He's
thought of a story actually after, but okay. Yeah.
nice. Yeah, but for I guess for the audience, my little brother is 1 year younger than me, and he's actually stronger than me. Works out a lot. He's kind of jacked, and he's
trained a bit of jiu-jitsu?
he's not quite as good looking, but he's got
That's
some
it.
strength.
He doesn't rock a
He's got some
hat
strength
or
on him.
He has a
He's
bit
a
of
good.
like
He's a
jiu-
good kid though. We're
He's
we're
a
good
good
friends.
gun.
And so anyway, this guy's having a fucking freak out, and he runs out onto our patio, and our waitress that he was freaking out at follows him out there.
Yeah, yeah.
And now I'm on the edge of my seat, and I'm looking, I'm fucking angry, and I see this, there's this beef going on, and I'm like,
And you worked there too.
I work there too, and I'm keeping eyes on the situation, and the guy's losing his mind. And eventually this guy, he goes, fuck you, and he pushes her with 2 hands.
Whoa.
Okay, and
Whoa,
this is a
whoa,
guy,
whoa,
he's
whoa.
like...
Serious?
I'm serious. He's like 6'2", 6'3". The waitress that he pushed is like 5'1", or maybe 4'11".
Wow,
like really
Jesus Christ.
small.
This is fucking shorter
He
than me.
pushes her, and she's hardcore, right? She's like, "Fuck you, how do?" But this is when I'm
You
like,
put,
okay,
you just went
this-
like that kind of thing, like two.
he just
hands?
gives her a good pushes her,
Holy
and she
crap.
takes a few steps, and I'm like, this is fucked. And so I storm through the front door, and I
You saw it from outside, or
I was inside, and I see it happening from inside. It's going on outside. I
Oh,
stormed
it's
through the front door.
outside.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
on the
okay.
patio. So I get in front of Lindsay. That's the waitress's name, and I'm like, okay, buddy, you need to get the fuck out of here. I'm screaming these words at him, and I'm just like, listen, man, I'm gonna count down to 3, and if you're not off our property in the next 3 seconds, the police are getting called. So I start screaming numbers at him, and as I'm screaming numbers at him, he fucking unzips his fly and whips out his little wrinkled ass fucking old disheveled cock, and he gets ready to take a piss on our patio, and I don't even really know what
Holy
went through
shit.
I don't even know what went through my head. I didn't think at all, but I just ran up and I hit him in the face as hard as I possibly could. And I'm 16, and this is like a 45-year-old guy, and I run over and I
That's
just
so
fucking lay him out.
disrespectful on his part,
Dude,
man.
yeah. He
Jesus.
literally whips his dick out, and he's about to take a piss.
And the waitress is still
on
there,
our
too?
patio. And keep in mind, the waitress is still there. And we've warned him a bunch of times, and he had destroyed all of our patio furniture. And and he goes and he's about to take a piss, and I just run and boom, hit him in the face. And he topples over, kind of rolls over his head onto his stomach.
He fell down.
Yeah, he falls back onto his back, over his head, onto his stomach. And my brother happens to be across the street of the gas station.
Here's the golden part.
His jiu-jitsu instincts went off.
Yeah,
My brother,
it's
he
fucking
happens to be
geeky. Wow,
buying.
let's
He
go.
happens to be buying some cool cucumber jewel pods across the
Alright.
street.
Yeah,
Okay?
Julia.
And he sees me. He knows I work at Clock Tower. He sees me lay this
dude, that's-
fucking guy out. Right? He sees me knock this guy on his ass. My brother sees me in a fight,
No.
and he just sprints over.
No.
Sprints over as fast as he can, and I don't see what's going on, but he pulls up and he stands over this guy on the ground who's all fucked up, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And the guy's
Brother
like,
protecting brother. Is
my
so
guy's
fucking
like,
cool.
or sorry, the guy who I punched, he's like,
yeah.
"Who are you? What are you doing?" My brother's like, "I'm his fucking brother. Who the fuck are you?" And he's like, the
That's
guy's
so
like,
fucking
"What's
dope.
going on?" And he stumbles to his feet, and my manager comes out, and he just goes, "Beat it." The guy leaves, and man, now I'm kind of worried. I'm like, "Fuck, am I gonna get fired?" I didn't mean to get physical, but he pushed our small waitress, and then he tried to piss on our patio. And I'm not a violent guy. I've very rarely ever hit anybody first, but it was just boom. I didn't think about it. I just hit him, and then I walk back into the restaurant after he fucks off, and my manager comes up to me and he goes Lachlan, I'm giving you a raise.
Fuck yeah.
That's the best part of this fucking story, man.
Dude.
Oh my god.
They were all so
Nice.
fucking proud of me.
Wow.
They were like, Lachlan, like, come on. Like, they were like, when you turn 19, like, you've got unlimited free beer at our
Oh
bar.
my
Like,
God.
they gave me tons of
Wow.
respect for it, and it was
Fuck yeah,
really
man.
dope. And yeah, I continued working there for a while, but yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's cool to be able to like stand up for your place of work, and
Yeah.
and that was a particularly funny story. My brother's such a legend. Like he
Wow.
sees that go down, he just sprints over like he's like ready to throw down. But
That's sick. That's so cool, man. Like, no, honestly, man. Like, it's super like intense when it becomes like a workplace involvement, right? If we think about it,
Yeah.
it becomes like that kind of like workplace involvement. You're like, okay, but like at the same time, it's like, man, like you don't give any fucks. Like you're just like.
Man, it was outside
You're
of
just
work.
like,
Like,
it doesn't even matter. Like just
Yeah.
because,
Just protecting someone you care about. Too.
Yeah, not only that,
exactly,
it's
yeah.
just like
Yeah.
you have a fucking value.
It's
Yeah.
like it's one thing to
you have a
destroy my
fucking value.
workplace. It's another to like knock like a
Fucking some chick who's like fucking
a
like
girl
serving
and
her
like
because you
a
fucking don't
smaller
want to pay your
person
tab.
back. Like what the fuck?
Well,
is your
yeah,
problem?
it's like have some grip of like your situation. It's regardless of your partying and your drinking.
Yeah,
it's like try to have some.
I don't care who you
restrictions
touch,
there.
but like if you're drunk and you touch a person who's on the clock, just trying to do their fucking job, who's half your size, you're a piece of shit. Man.
Yeah, especially when you know you're like a lot stronger
100%.
than them. And
Yeah,
dude,
like what are you
that's fucked
doing,
up.
man?
Yeah,
Yeah,
fuck
so
that.
it was
That's
definitely
just
satisfying.
being a good person, man. Like, good on
Yeah,
you.
no, Ben, you know what? Like, it's just like, yeah, at that point, you're like, in my mind, it's for what I see is like, you were down to lose your job.
I didn't think about anything.
In order for you to keep your values.
I just saw a
if you think about
penis
it.
and I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
you're like,
And
"I need to punch this guy
I
in the
just fucking
face."
hit him. Yeah, I was like, "What's he doing?" I thought he was gonna like.
I'm not gonna piss
I thought he was
around
gonna
you,
pull a
fuck.
weapon out or something, and I mean he did, but it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. And I'm like, "Yeah, no chance, buddy." Poof, poof.
Alcohol.
Wow.
He wasn't out, but he hit the floor, and it was nice. It was nice.
It's just like, if you look at it too, it's like, that's not fucking, like, that's not appropriate. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you
he's
don't
like,
fucking
he's
whip
like,
out your
he's
dick.
like, you just assaulted me, motherfucker. I'm like, you just whipped your old ass cock out in front of a 16-year-old boy. Like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
I like the way you fucking think, man. That's
Yeah,
fucking,
there you go.
dude, that's exactly
Well,
it.
it's true, and it's like you assaulted me. It's like, yeah, you also harassing this fucking girl.
Yeah,
this fucking
harassing
girl,
me.
and then somebody like clearly like a third of your size, and then probably
The
less
shit
than that.
that waitresses
And it's
have
like-
to
like-
deal with is probably
No, yeah,
so
dude,
unreal.
Waitresses
man,
are
the shit that-
harassed day to day. It's
Yeah,
wild.
and the
Oh,
shit
shout
that
out
it's
to all
like-
the waitresses listen to this podcast. 'cause
Waitresses, but
just
like
it's going
women in
live in a couple
general,
weeks,
man.
like,
Women, just women in general, have to deal with so much
It's
bullshit
true,
from
it's true,
men,
they do.
man. Like,
it's
like,
true.
and it's
Women
just,
do have to fucking deal with a bunch of bullshit
it's just fucked.
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah,
No,
it's not
true.
cool, man. It's
And
not
that's
cool.
like that's why it's nice hearing. And I know I went away for that scene, but like I heard this. I was listening to the story, and it's like that's why I like respect for you for like not even like thinking about it. Like it wasn't even like I'm gonna defend this girl. Like you were just like, I'm gonna defend this person I care about. Like boom, just
the only time
You
in
know,
my
like,
life
fuck
I've
that.
ever like hit somebody without them like hitting me or hitting my friend. Like I just
yeah, but dude
I don't
deserved
know.
it, bro. Like
yeah. I don't
but
know.
fair enough.
I
I think you're
definitely
still
don't
humble.
regret
You're
it.
like, oh, I don't know if I should have hit him, but
I just don't think that like hitting
know.
people left and right is a good thing, but I do
No,
think
of
that
course not.
I
Yeah,
agree.
you're right, Lava.
I do think that in this situation, like I
But it-
definitely am glad I hit this
Yeah,
fucking
like
guy.
who knows where it would have went. Like he pushed someone, he's about to start pissing everywhere. Like this guy clearly gave zero fucks about what he
Dude,
was
what
doing.
kind
so-
of
Could
fucking
immediately switch and
guy
hurt
are
someone,
you
yeah.
to take a piss
Exactly.
on a patio at like 45? Like, dude,
No,
I wouldn't.
it's a self-respect thing.
Like that's
He doesn't have
it's
self-respect.
just disgusting.
He doesn't have
what are you
self-respect.
fucking
You don't
doing?
have self-respect because the way that you get you're fucking tanked and shit, but it's like the actual like the shit that you do and is gonna be like that follows you, And
Yeah,
it's just
like-
like at 45, I feel like, man, you should be a little fucking smarter. You
and
should have a
there's-
little bit more on your fucking something going on, a little better up there, It's
There's
supposed to
other
be like
dick moves you can do too, Like you can just not tip. That's still an asshole thing to
Yeah,
do, right?
100%.
But
Very, very rude.
You can not tip or you can be rude. But this fucking guy like decided he had to piss all over the property. Like, man, like, learn the boundaries. Like, you don't need to take it so extreme. You know what I mean? Like,
it's so many things at once, man.
Plus,
I'm
it's
sure
like-
you guys, I'm sure you guys have worked in the restaurant industry a bit at some point in your lives.
Yeah, I worked in the
Dude,
restaurant.
man.
Yeah, I
There's,
worked
it's
in-
like, what
there's an
bullshit-
unbelievable amount of assholes.
Oh, dude, 100%.
Walking around.
And it's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
what,
especially
but
if you're a
what thing?
bartender or
What thing are you
something.
trying to achieve? You know,
100%.
like what goal are you trying to get out of this? Like by being an asshole to the serving staff, or
It's not
to,
a goal, there's no goal.
No, that's what I mean. There is no goal. That's
It's
like,
like
what?
he's on his own, fucking.
It's just
posting
people
up,
trying to like. I don't know. I feel like it's people being inebriated, but I also feel like sometimes it's like a low key flex of someone trying to feel like the alpha in a certain situation. They just want to feel like they want to feel like the one that's
They get
in
that
control.
liquid courage and
Yeah.
That's
the liquid courage
that's a
is
big
attitude,
factor
but
too. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
It's-
Liquid courage is just fucking. It gives you this crazy delusion that like you're the fucking shit and all this fucking garbage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And honestly, like it takes away from like.
Man,
listening to common sense, like honestly, in any fucking situation, especially this fucking guy from what you're telling us, man, that's garbage. It's garbage moves, garbage
Yeah.
personality, garbage shit. You know.
I remember,
like whatever.
you know, my brother and I, after this guy fucked off, like my brother and I are talking, we go home and my parents are awake and we were like, okay, like, do we tell my parents what just happened? We're like, okay, we'll tell them. And we're like, yeah, I just laid this fucking guy out.
and then got a raise.
But
Obviously,
obviously,
I fucking laid someone out and I got a raise.
I'm making more money than that.
obviously I
Boys.
gave a little more
That's the boy I
context.
raised.
It was like some Spider-Man shit. They're like, good on you, boy. Like,
I gave a little more context, but like my parents were both like, had to be. You know what I mean? They were like,
because again, it's a moral thing.
Oh, that's proper as fuck.
yeah, they were pumped about it.
They get it.
Nice. That's proper as fuck.
But you know.
Your parents are there like, yeah, well, next time, you know, and then in their head, they're like, yeah, I would have laid that motherfucker.
Well, it was around Christmas. It was around this time of year. There was like a dinner party going on, and my brother and I were meant to meet my parents at like this dinner party, and so like we meet with my parents, and like when we were trying to just tell my parents, it was actually like a bunch of other people my parents' age, and they were all fired up, like. They'd all had a few drinks and whatever, but
Nice.
when they heard this story, they were like, Sally, what did you do to raise your kids like this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But
What'd you
yeah.
do raising your kids to defend people that can't defend themselves in certain situations?
Oh, it's just
It's
you
funny,
don't
it's funny.
fucking push away
But,
just like that.
yeah, I don't know, like what I just the guy that you guys met just the other night, he recently took a really bad crash on his bike. It's kind of funny because he was doing this, he's on the rugby team for Ottawa U, and they were doing some hazing stuff, and he got really drunk. And Rylan doesn't get really drunk. Like, Rylan's a pretty healthy guy.
Your brother?
No, my brother's Jock. This is Rylan. He's my
Jock.
good friend. Yeah, my brother's name's Jock. Jock.
Jock.
Yeah.
Jock.
Yeah, like jock strap. Like,
total jock.
that's
Yeah,
Jock's
it
name.
is.
But this is Rylan. He's one of my best friends too. And Rylan gets fucked up, but he doesn't get like sloppy or anything. But he calls me and he's a little sloppy. And he's like, "Where are you? Like, I want to meet you." And I'm like, "Yeah, come to Dooley's.
fucking
Come
Tinder
come
date.
play pool." And he's like, "Bet, I just need to find my bike." And I'm like, "Dude, don't ride your bike. Like, you sound fucked." And he's like, "No, I'm good. I'm gonna ride my bike." I'm like, "Rylan, I'll get you an Uber. Like, let me get you an Uber, man, because like you sound fucked." He's like, "No, I'm gonna ride my bike." I'm like, "Okay, fair enough. Just drive careful, be safe, and like call me when you get here." Hang up. 10 minutes later, phone call from Rylan. He's disorientated. He's not making sense. He's like, lag on. I'm like, what's up, man? What's going on? He's like, the fucking chain. What chain? What happened? He's like, I didn't see it, and now I'm bleeding. I can't see. I'm bleeding like crazy. I'm like, what? Rylan, what's going on? He's like, dude, the chain. I flew off my bike. Now I'm bleeding. I don't know what's happening. Like, fucking, he's just concussed as fuck. And he's
Holy
like,
shit.
not making any sense. And basically what had happened is he had like ran into a chain that he didn't see, gone over the handlebars and taken the whole impact in his head.
Oh,
and
holy fuck.
he gashed his head open really bad.
That's
he was
brutal.
leaking really bad. I'm like, when I'm talking to him on the phone, he's like, I did exactly what you said I shouldn't do. I'm like, what's that? He's like, the chain, I crashed. And when I realized it was serious, I just got his address and like fucked off right away. Like got an Uber and went
100%.
checked him out. He was like, I just need someone to look at my head to make sure I'm okay so I can go to sleep. So that's what I did.
Well, you're not supposed to go to sleep if it's like...
I know, but he wanted somebody to like assess his symptoms, so I like got over to him and like I did all the basic concussion stuff and
Okay, I see.
he was like he was healthy enough that he could go to sleep, and he was bleeding pretty bad, but you know, he didn't split his skull open or anything, and he went to sleep. But concussions are fucked up, and I'm lucky not to have had any really bad concussions. There's been a few times where I've hit my head hard. And
You
like,
didn't get a concussion off the fucking incident you just talked about? Like getting your...
Yeah.
There's like fucking strips of red.
I have a really
Like,
good
it's fucked.
concussion/non-concussion story where it's like I don't actually have proof that it was a real concussion, but I'm pretty confident I got a concussion. I could like...
nobody actually has any real way of diagnosing a concussion.
It's
If you
true.
go to a
It's
doctor
true.
and you say, I got hit in the head really hard and I have a headache, they'll be like, it's a minor concussion, like stay off screens for a
Right?
week.
Yeah.
You probably, yeah, I mean, I bet all of us have had concussions. If you ever hit your head really hard,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely.
at
had
least at a
some.
minor point, like in some minor way, like
yeah, like, I don't know. I've had times where I've hit my head and, like, gotten a flash of white on impact.
Totally.
Like, boom. And
Oh,
then, like,
dude.
thrown up afterwards.
During
I've
rugby
just, like,
practice,
never
not
gotten
to
really
say
got
That's a
that.
concussion right
I
there.
hit, I smacked the back of my head during a rugby practice once. I got tackled like in high school, and like the back of my head just kind of hit the ground. And
Yeah.
I remember that exact thing. It was like it went black, but then it was like an instant flash of white,
Yeah.
like in your vision.
100%, yeah.
But I have a crazy one that was
All right,
it was
yeah,
like
let's hear it.
kind of a I'm trying to remember the exact story. It was kind of a combination of things. Oh yeah, so the day started off with basically like I was at my buddy's place, and I'm not gonna, again, just one of the stories, I'm gonna leave names out, but like it was like I was at my buddy's place and he was driving his family's car that he should not have been driving at
Yeah,
17
yeah.
years old, you know, without a license, and like no sort of, and yeah, and we were
Shit.
and of course we're
Damn.
so, and to make the whole thing worse, it's like we were smoking joints in the car with the windows up,
Yeah.
and it's like, you know, it's like, fuck, like this is stupid if you really think about it afterwards. And then it's like we're hitting the highway, so we're in the Gatineau region, and he takes a left on the highway, or sorry, the on-ramp to get onto the highway.
Yeah.
And as he like hooks left, I kind of like looked at him and I was like, yo man, I was like, maybe we should put that out, you know, like just like a quick, like maybe we should put that out to be safe. And like as I'm looking at him, he's looking the same direction, you know, down towards like the middle console of the car. And fucking next thing you know, man, it was just like we were hitting signs, and like the car was just like smashing through like road signs on the side of the road. And I was like, and then like that's what was happening at the time. I didn't realize it, but like it was just kind of like fucking just all of a sudden I'm shaking and shit's going on, and I look up and I'm just like, what the fuck? And then it was like an instant moment of like one of these, like I turned to the right and like I'm in the passenger seat, and the entire window, it was kind of like, if you think of it going in slow motion, like your window's intact, and then the next thing you know it was in a million shards. And it was just kind of like I was staring at it for a second, and then it started to like, you know, fall and shatter and whatever. It was like almost like it was just like there, and then it was like shattered, and then it was just falling everywhere. And then, but the thing was that I guess like the impact of it kind of made me pass out, and like again maybe hit me in the head, I don't know, whatever. But I kind of like passed out in the chair, and like he said that when he woke up he was like freaking out because he thought I was literally like just like, you know, fucking fucked. But yeah, and anyway, like I mean, obviously when I just really think back on it, it's like the stupidity of the situation itself and how we got there.
Yeah.
100%.
But anyway, so
100%.
that was this is the weirdest part. That was just like the beginning of the day. That was just like one of those like, whoa, that was a fucking crazy trip. And like the car got pulled over on the side of the highway. The window shattered. He's like, oh, I gotta tell my mom now. She's out of the country. And then the cops come and pick us up, and we literally go to school. Like we go to adult education that day. Like nothing fucking happened.
100%.
But then later in that night, somebody was like, so we were at another party at my buddy's place in Elmer, and like we were fucking around in the back of the high school, and or not a high school, it was an elementary school that was shut down for the summer, and straight up like this guy came out of nowhere, and I guess he was. Honestly, I don't know the situation. I just know this guy like angrily came out of nowhere and was just kind of trying to I guess like stop us from having fun. Mm-hmm. And he like took the frame of a window.
What were you guys doing?
We were literally smoking a joint behind a school, which is like so terrible.
That's nothing, man. Like, come on.
No. But this guy came out of nowhere and threw a window frame at us. Like he took a white fucking mesh, like a screen window frame out of a building, and he was like, I guess he like whipped it, and it just like it just like flew like flew like a frisbee, and it like clocks me in the side of the face, like literally the corner of this frame.
God,
like
man.
it was just like it like smacked, like it like cracked in half, and I just kind of. Like, anyway, that was literally the whole progression of the story. It was just the fact that, like, both in one day, it's like those two random weird events happened in my fucking poor head.
That's fucking rough,
That
man.
smells so good, Lachlan.
You want one?
I
You
do.
want one?
Can I?
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah, I have a
Man.
pretty gnarly concussion story too.
Dude,
actually,
I got some food for you, bro.
some fucking one of the reasons why I don't ski a whole
thank
lot
you.
anymore is because I had a terrible fucking concussion when I was in grade 6.
No way.
I was skiing at Calabogie. I don't know if you guys have been to Calabogie before, but yeah, there's one route. You're like going down the side, and then like another route meets up with it. And yeah, some like snowboarder fucking came down right in front of me, and I was fucking bombing this hill. So I was going fucking fast. And then yeah, he just cut me off, and I wasn't expecting it, and I like stumbled a little bit, and I started like wobbling a fuck ton. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna fall. So yeah, I wiped out, and they're just like, yeah, just fall on your side and like put your skis out to the side, and you'll just like slow down. But I think I hit an ice patch or something like that, and then the last thing I remember is just like getting closer and closer to the like plastic orange fence they have on the side, and then I just flew right through that off a fucking cliff, like
Oh my god.
hit a tree with my face. And then I just remember my buddy waking me up. He's like yelling my name, and I thought I was blind at first because I couldn't see anything. It was just everything was just black.
That happened to me before I fainted one time.
Yeah, it's fucked. And then yeah, he was just like, yeah, Nolan, like Nolan, are you alright? And I'm just like, all fucking like groggy and shit like that. And then I like opened my eyes, and like I can't see anything, and my head's fucking pounding, like losing my shit. And then I just
It's
fucking
pretty scary,
pushed myself
because
off.
your brain doesn't really work right.
No, not at all.
Like, you're
just
all
like
confused and
like
shit.
rapidly assessing the situation, like
Yeah,
like
it's
oh
so
fuck,
scary,
like,
it's so
is everything
disorientating.
intact or whatnot? And then I pushed myself up. There's just like a big pile of blood I was lying in the snow, and then I just looked up, and my buddy was like 30 feet above me. Just like looking over the edge, like, are you alright? Like, yeah, I'm good. And fucking is the worst, I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks after that of my public school experience, because I looked like fucking Two-Face from Batman. It was just like the one face on my side that took the brunt force of the impact. So like this side was completely normal, and then this side was like so fucking swollen. I had all these scabs and shit on it, and yeah, super bad concussion. Like it fucking,
Gnarly, man.
It sucked. Yeah, didn't go skiing for 11 years after that. Just went for the first time this past year. Yeah, my buddy fucking took me on like a double black diamond or shit like right away. He's like, oh no man, like trust me, you'll be fine. And you fucking get to the edge.
Just
It's
take
like,
it easy, it'll be
yeah.
chill.
Dude, it's just like you get to the edge, just like we get to this sign actually. It's like experts only beyond this point. I'm like, dude, are you for real right now? I told you, I like what happened to me? Why you don't ski that often anymore? And then you just get to this thing, and it's, I don't know, it's like a 75-degree angle drop, and you have to fucking like go through like all these like moguls down the whole fucking thing. And yeah, I was just fucking, I don't know, I started to like it though. I honestly, like, as I gain confidence back. I'm like, yeah,
Sounds right.
okay, yeah,
I
let's
got
go.
this shit, like-
Yeah, and then I started hitting the ramps on the side and everything. But
Man, that
skiing is still
feeling-
iffy for me.
That feeling of just taking a really hard hit and thinking like, shit, like I should be knocked out, or did I get knocked out, or like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was
I know
knocked out for a
exactly.
minute.
It's terrible.
At least.
I was at Tremblant, which is not, you know, it's nothing compared to BC skiing, but
Still, Charles fucking dope. Like,
I have a bit of a background in freestyle ski, and
wait. Actually, this is something I fucking want to ask you since early, man. Do you hit park?
yeah, I like to hit park for sure.
Yeah, you can do rails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can backflip on skis.
You go down. Can you hit a rail switch?
Yep.
Backwards, boom.
2 7 on, 2 7 off.
Okay, cool. That's cool. Yeah.
A little switch up on the rail. Nothing crazy. I can't like 540 on or like 450 out or anything like that. Or sorry, 450 on, 450. Nothing like
450
that.
off, 450 out. I mean, that's good.
I can, like I said, I have a background in flips. Like, so I was able to huck front flips and back flips and side flips and stuff on skis. On skis early, but. Yeah, like I can get by on the rails, but I'm not an amazing freestyle skier or anything. But
I was just curious in general. Like
I am comfortable doing like pretty big jumps, and we went to at Tremblant, their park has got like a 40-footer, and the first day I was skiing it, I was with my buddy Douglas. And the first day, it was like we realized the only way to do the jumps without casing it for listeners who don't know what casing means, it's just like every jump has a jump, a flat section following like the jump, and then a slope section where you land that absorbs your impact. And if you land on the flat, it's called a case. So the only way not to case it was to go full speed. And so that's what we were doing all day one, and then day two was raining. And on the first jump of day two, it's raining, and we went by our old rules. Go like no speed checks. Go as fast as you can. That's what I do. I hit the jump. It's a 40-footer. And yeah, I basically came off, and because of the rain, the snow was much slicker, and I was going much faster. And I hit the jump, and I cleared the whole landing. And went we call it the flats in skiing. So I went to the flats. So I cleared the whole landing, the whole downhill, and took like maybe like a 50 or 60 foot drop onto like flat snow. And I knocked myself out hard.
Holy shit.
My plan was to try and get my body weight to the side and like take it in the shoulder, or try and like roll out of it a little bit. So I like tweaked my body to the side, and I landed legs first, and I kind of forgot that what follows your shoulder is your fucking brain. So I take it in the shoulder, and then it's just like the most hardcore, just boom, boom, and I just hit my head just so hard on the ground. The hardest I've ever hit my head. It was just like boom, boom. And I don't remember. I could have passed out. I could have not passed out. I don't know. But I came to. I was disorientated. And the first thing I said, I started saying concussion out loud. I was alone. I was just like,
concussion.
I sit up straight and I'm like, concussion.
Fucking alarm system going off.
Yeah. And I was like, what's my birthday? And I thought about it for a while.
Okay, whoa. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
That is a fucking skill.
I was just freaked the fuck out, and I don't know if I hit my head and sat up right away, or if I was out and then I sat up, but I whenever I figured out what happened to me, I sat up straight, and like I said, I was like concussion out loud, I was bleeding pretty bad from my mouth and my nose,
Shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my face hit the ground face first hard.
Wait,
right?
what did you say, 40 or 50 feet you fell?
Well, it was a 40-foot jump.
It said 40. I was like, whoa.
It was a 40-foot jump, but I cleared the whole landing, so it must have been 60 feet to the ground.
Holy shit.
It was fucked.
Fuck.
And I hit the ground. Like I said, I tried to take in my shoulder, but I just whiplashed my face into the ground, and
Right.
I split my lip open pretty good, and my nose was either broken or just mangled a little bit.
It's crazy what the body can endure.
But I just sit up and I'm leaking pretty good, and I was like, concussion, and I'm like, what's my birthday? I'm like, okay,
that type of shit.
July 30th. Okay, my parents' names. What are my parents' names? But it took me a while. That was what was scary. I had to think. I was like, what are my parents' names?
For sure. 'Cause you gotta slow down.
But the thing is, you gotta also
I'm
consider
you're
stunned.
Sally, right?
Yeah, you're stunned.
It's stunned by what just happened to you. So it's
So,
I was able to figure it all out. I there was nothing I couldn't completely remember, and my buddy caught up to me. My friend Douglas, which is funny. My last name's Douglas. His first name's Douglas, but he pulled up to me and he was like, you good? And I was like, well, I fucking got bodied, but I think I'm okay. And, you know, I called it after that. But, yeah, like, I don't know. When you get domed like that, hardcore,
Yeah.
it's scary, dude. Like, your whole shit just goes, it's like everything flashes.
That's true. This is a completely different, like tight. Fuck, that's intense, first of all, man.
It's actually, you know, it sounds intense because I was scared, but I don't think it was that big of an injury.
Oh, exactly.
No, I agree. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things
I
that
was
could
okay.
happen.
How was that?